You don't think I'm gonna just give it up after 1 week? You must think I'm a hoe.
What? Why you front? You let the nigga Terry bone, and I know I look better than that nigga.
Watch this. Let me break it down. Let me break it down. Let me break it down so it can forever and consistently be broke.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the BFQ podcast, where we break down black culture with an emphasis on black classic cinema.
Black classic cinema.
I'm your host, Nick Quotes.
What's up? I'm your co-host, Beny Ash. What's up? What's up?
The lovely Beny Ash.
Lovely.
So today we are reviewing one of my favorite movies of all times.
This was at the top of his list of top 5 movies.
Absolutely.
So
hers too.
it was in my top 5 for sure.
So this is I've been waiting for this one. So even though we ain't been waiting long, I've been waiting for this one.
Right.
Do the honors.
Do the honors. I'm like, why is he dragging this out? Okay. So today.
Dramatic.
So I'm like, pause. What's he gonna say? We're doing The Wood.
Inglewood.
So this movie, it's important to me for 2 reasons. One, because my business, Crowns and Hops, First Black Brewery out of Inglewood, that's what this whole movie is about, that neighborhood, Inglewood. And then I also absolutely love young teenage rom-com flicks, especially that star in black people, because young black love is just beautiful to watch.
Yes, I as well. It's so nostalgic. It feels good to watch, and it definitely takes me back to a time when I was young and living life without carefree, just carefree without any worries or stresses. You know what I mean? When you first heard the name The Wood, when you seen the movie, like the trailer or whatever, did you know what that meant?
No, because I was living in New York when this came out, and I didn't understand. I didn't know what Inglewood was.
Me neither,
all.
man.
So when it was called The Wood,
I was in Kansas City. The Woods. They talking about.
I thought it was about your hard penis.
Yeah, and they made a joke about that at the beginning because I guess they knew that people would think that.
Yeah.
He was like, I know what y'all think it is.
It's supposed to have a double meaning. Wood, like you got a Woody, and then Wood because it's in Inglewood. So
yeah, they definitely get into
I'm assuming they did
some
that
sexual
on purpose.
stuff.
Yeah,
on
they
the
definitely
wood.
did that. But I definitely thought it was about having a chubby.
All right, y'all. This film is about a group of friends that have been knowing each other since middle school. One of the friends is getting married, which brings them all back together and makes them reminisce back on their childhood. And then takes you on a journey of nostalgia in the 80s, early 90s, where the only thing that mattered was your friends, that girl you had a crush on. No matter if you almost go to jail, got stank breath, or get beat up by a gang member. You just want that girl, and you want to be macking and hanging.
Macking and hanging.
Macking and hanging.
Macking and hanging. Yeah.
Hey. So yeah, man, The Wood, man, it's what is your initial thought coming fresh out of the movie theater or whatever you watched it on DVD? What was your first initial thought?
I just loved it. Like so I grew up in New York, in Harlem, and on the weekends I would go up to White Plains where my grandmother lived, right? So I wanted to move to White Plains because I wanted to go to White Plains High and I wanted to be a cheerleader and I wanted like all of the things you get from going to a big high school, because I went to a private school. My graduating class was like 40 people. So I went to a really small school. So when I saw The Wood and saw it done with a black cast, it reminded me of all the reasons why I wanted to move to White Plains. I was like, Mom, look at this movie. This is what I want to have, this kind of childhood where we hang out with kids and we play on the playground. And, you know, I don't want to go see people on the weekends. I want to live this like every single day.
Right.
And that wasn't, growing up in the city, we had fire hydrants and projects. So it wasn't really quite
and that's that was the thing about The Wood. The Wood had a balance. Yeah. It was a very balanced childhood because they grew up in the hood, but they wasn't necessarily of the hood.
Exactly.
So
exactly,
and that's a more realistic thing in a neighborhood like that. Because I grew up in the hood like that. Mm-hmm. But one thing people have to understand is just because you live there don't mean you of it.
Yeah.
So it's a lot. It's probably more people that aren't of it. Than is.
Right.
I used to always explain this to my friends and my white friends and all the people like in my jobs growing up. They used to ask me, what is it like growing up there, and why is it that black people kill each other a lot and all that stuff? I got that question raised a lot to me. And I would tell them, look, the hood is nothing like you think. First of all, it's way funner than the suburbs.
Exactly.
So like suburbs, everybody's in the house. Where they do all their stuff is at school.
In the hood, you find anything
it's so fun.
to keep you entertained, right?
Yeah, it's so fun. I said, listen, this is what it's like growing up in the hood. You take 1 month, 30 days, right? Mm-hmm. So for 29 days in that month, it's bliss. You outside playing, picnics, barbecues, having fun with your friends. And then that one day somebody get murdered. Or robbed. Something crazy happens.
Yeah, it happens. Yeah, it's true. It's
shooting.
True. It's true. Something.
You know what I mean? So once a month that stuff happens.
Bad happens.
But for the rest of the days of that month,
it's so
just
dope.
Blissful. You know what I mean? You have a blast, man. Playing how I go get it with your girl.
I go get it.
You know what I mean? All those things. You just have a blast, man. It was just a fun. It's a fun time growing up in the hood, man. You know what I mean? The only thing, that I wish that I had when I was growing up like that was more money to go to like more places. Like I always wanted to go to the Disney Worlds and the Disneylands and all the big amusement parks and all the fun things that you see like on the movies and on TV. But other than that, man, we had a blast. My mom had 6 kids, so she couldn't take all of us.
So many of y'all.
We wasn't going to no Disneyland. I ain't go there until I was 30 something. You know what I mean?
I went to Disneyland. I was definitely.
You was the only child though.
I was, but
plus your dad was.
That doesn't matter. I had the best.
One of the co-founders of
the Commodores, but I still had the best of both worlds. So we didn't live in the projects, but we grew up, it was across the street from the projects. It was a nice building, but it was across the street from the projects. So I played a little bit of both worlds. And then on the weekends, we'd go to my grandmother. So it was like, I got the city life, even though I wasn't allowed to go to the projects. I was allowed to play adjacent. Like there's a park that wasn't necessarily in the projects, but wasn't,
right.
So I got to play there, but I couldn't play inside the project. So I got to hang out with the kids and fucking hydrant water fights and all.
Oh, that was a big New York staple. Man. Don't get me wrong, we did that in Kansas City too.
Nothing is like a hydrant water fight. In New York City, you get water balloons, guns, and a hydrant. You will get fucked up, but it is the funnest. I remember we did a water fight and played for like 7 hours
that's
straight
how it was when you was a kid,
until like 3 a.m, just in the street.
As a grown person thinking now, all that wasted water, you know what I mean? Like it's a lot of wasted
listen,
fucking
as a grown
water.
person right now, where is the next water fight? And I plan on planning one because water fights are the funnest shit ever.
I should do that for Crown and Hops, man. Have like a little picnic and just have a big old water fight and drinking good ass beer.
I was literally just thinking about that the other day.
Because it's a hot ass summer right now.
And doing a whole water fight. And that would just everybody meet us in the parking lot. Everybody bring a water gun. And we just go
drink some good ass beers and some Crowns and Hops, some IPAs.
Try to get a water sponsor so we're not being irresponsible.
Right, especially in LA. You got to have some.
Yeah, exactly. All right, let's get into it.
Let's get into some of these characters, man. Let's start with Big Mike. That's played by Omar Epps and Sean Nelson.
Yes.
The young version, Sean Nelson. The older version, Omar Epps. How do you feel about them?
I like Mike. Mike's the best character. Like when we get into who we love the best, he was the most grounded. He was the most down to earth. He's from North Carolina, and he's got a good mix of Southern. Got a good head on his shoulders. Yes. Comes from a good family. You can know his mother loves him very, very much.
Facts.
To have a lead black young character. Just be fucking normal. Yeah, his father left him and he's not loved. It was nothing. He was just, and I think that was also so great about this. There wasn't your stereotypical family drama inside any of these families. Like the assumption was every single one of them came from a loving family.
Facts. And Mike was, to me, he was a very balanced character. Like he was very balanced. Like he wasn't a punk.
No, not at all.
He wasn't corny, even though he couldn't dance. That was,
oh my God.
And he wasn't super cool neither. He was just a very balanced guy. You know what I mean?
Right.
So you got to appreciate Mike for what he was, which is the person that you needed to lead the film. You needed, because there's some extremes on the other sides. You know what I mean?
He was the perfect balance of all the crazy.
Yeah, he was the perfect balance of slim and rolling.
You needed to love him. He was a great hero.
Yeah, he was.
He was a really good hero character.
The only thing I seen him in before The Wood was Fresh.
Wasn't he the lead in
Dope? You thinking of Dope?
No, he wasn't.
That wasn't him.
No, it wasn't. He wasn't in Dope.
The older. The Get Down?
The Get Down. Remember The Get Down?
The TV series on Netflix?
Yeah.
That ain't him. That's the same kid that played in Dope. That's Shamik.
No,
that's Shamik Moore.
Because all black people look the same.
Yeah, but them dudes do look the same. They are almost the same character. Like they are the Dope dude, the character from Dope and the character from The Wood is. I'm not even going to say they even look. They do look the same. They are almost the same character, and it's not a coincidence. And it's not a coincidence because it's the same director, same writer-director. I guess that his avatar is going to always look like that because a lot of writer-directors write from them, being them. You know what I mean? Even me, some of my films always got the dark-skinned lead dude.
Because you're dark-skinned.
It's me. It's my avatar. You know what I mean? Basically, so his avatars always look the same. But that's Shamik Moore and Sean Nelson.
Okay.
You know, they kind of got the same.
My bad.
And you saw, Mike progress throughout the film from being like fish out of water, right. to becoming a cool dude. A terrible accent to becoming a cool kid.
Kid. So. And I like Omar Epps' too character as an adult. He just Mike's consistency as a character was, you appreciated and you liked him a lot.
Facts. All right, so cool. Let's talk about Slim. Richard T. Jones played the older Slim, and Dwayne Finley played the younger Slim.
The older Slim got on my last fucking nerve.
I will say this. Slim, as far as they might not have looked the same, but personality-wise, spot on, man.
As characters playing younger and older selves.
Yeah, they were spot on, man. Slim was the character that reminded me of me myself. Like the most. He reminded me the most of me. And
why did he remind why?
Because that's how I talk. The way he talked, man, what?
You do have a country accent.
It's just people say I'm a country, but I'm from the Midwest.
But you sound like you're from the country.
They say that, when I go to the East Coast or to the West Coast, people like, you got an accent.
Yeah, you do have an accent.
I feel like I don't, but
100%.
I think my accent
have an accent.
I think I have a in and out accent because I think Kansas City, where I'm from, Kansas City, Missouri, is like a culmination of everywhere because it's the heart of the United States.
Right.
They call us the heart of America because it's literally right in the middle, smack dab of America. So, and we more northern than Southern California.
Yeah, but you still have a twang in your accent.
Sure. I mean, I guess so. People say it all the time. I don't get it, but I get it. Compared to you, for sure.
Compared to me, facts.
That's for sure.
I don't have an accent.
Yeah, you have a very proper.
Yes,
you got a very nice balance. You got
growing up, it was fucking nightmare. Called me Oreo 90% of my life. Yeah,
you have a very proper vocabulary.
Very proper voice.
Yeah. Which I appreciate. I needed that on here because I know I'm a fly off the handle, so I needed your voice on.
I'm got a potty mouth compared to.
Yeah, but the way I'm talking about just the way you enunciate. I feel like Slim was very witty. He was a really smart guy, but even though he was made to seem dumb at first, talking about hey, miss, I forgot the lady name. What page 17 on? You know what I mean? Yeah. Never mind. I'll find it. Figure it out.
He was a pain in the ass as a kid, but very much a pain in the ass as an adult. Like I don't know. I felt like he was single. I mean, yes, they were all players for the most part outside of Mike, but I feel like even as an adult, I don't know. He's the guy you just don't want to date. Like he's a
really Slim.
No, God, he's a complete smartass. I feel like 90% of the time, I feel like any arguments you have with him, you will never be the one to apologize to you. Never be the guy that's like, yo, my bad, I'm sorry. Like he always thinks he knows every fucking thing.
That's true.
Always knows.
He's very witty though, man. His comebacks was the best, man.
Oh, his comebacks were definitely the best.
You know what I mean? Sure. When he was like. When he spun the piece around, he asked Mike, he said, Mike, you want that last piece? He's like, nah, I'm good. He said, why you ain't ask? And Roland was like, why you ain't ask me? Because I want the last piece. He said, because because I did it the same reason that you asked your girl to marry her. Because it sounds nice. Like, what? What?
He's definitely an asshole.
He said, what, man, that ain't fair, man. I didn't trip on you when you wanted to go play basketball overseas. Right. He said, that was for ball. I love ball. He said, I love Lisa. He said, then why we here and ain't at the wedding, Slim?
Right, exactly.
And he was looking stupid. He said, why? Because you a punk? And they started laughing. Because, so he was just witty, man. He was quick.
You need a character. He's an antagonist. He's an antagonist. character, right? Yeah, I think I'm saying that right.
No,
isn't that what an antagonist is?
Yeah, the person that's against
he had to keep.
I don't think Slim was the antagonist, man.
I mean, he didn't want him to get married. He kept saying, "Don't."
No, he was with it.
He was, but then when everything kind of went down, and if he didn't want to do it, he'd be like, "All right, let's bounce." Like,
but he was. I feel like he was pushing him to get married.
No,
the whole movie, he was like, "Come on, man, we gotta go." He said, "Nigga, I paid $300 for these shoes."
But he was pushing him because. All right, maybe okay.
He said, "I paid $300 for these shoes. These are Farrakhan. They cost $300." He's like, "How much you pay for them?" He said, "It don't matter."
Yeah, okay.
You know, he said, "We need to go." Like every time he was trying to get that boy to that wedding to get married.
He definitely was.
And Roland said, "Man, y'all was mad when I was gonna get married. Now y'all acting like this." He said, "Y'all was the one told me don't bust up the crew, man. Don't bust up the crew." Like so, he's like, "Yeah, but nigga, now we here. Let's go ahead."
So Slim had relative good intentions, but he was still an asshole. All right, let's move on.
They never established a girl for him neither. Like if you notice, he never had like a specific.
He never had a specific girl.
Roland and Mike
had a girl.
You know, so Roland, Tate Diggs, and Trent Cameron. Cameron played the young version, and Tate Diggs played the older version.
I personally feel like for those two, Slim and for Roland to be ladies' men in high school, like I don't see it.
Roland, but not. I don't think Slim was a lady man. He was calling head girls, waterhead, and all kind of shit.
Slim would have got. I see Slim getting more play because he was taller. When he was
Slim got girls,
but Roland.
Remember when they was having
was like super. He was the tiny dude in high school. Like how you got game?
But hey, man, I'm gonna tell you like this, man. When I was young, I was always the super tall dude, and I'm 6'3", y'all. Y'all didn't know. I'm sitting down, but I'm 6'3", and all of my friends was short, and they had all the girls. You know
what? You didn't have any of the girls?
Yeah, I got girls. I got girls, but they had all the. For some reason, girls like short dudes. When we got grown, it changed.
Even the tall girls like the short dudes.
Yeah.
I have never liked short dudes. I could never date a dude shorter than
me. When you ask somebody, they wouldn't say that they like short dudes, but they did. They like all my short friends. And maybe because all my short friends was like pretty boy dudes. So they had all the girls.
But they the light skinned, I'll be sure type looking dudes?
A couple of them. A couple of them was little I'll be sure joints. And a couple of them was, some Lorenz Tate looking. Like they was down. My guys was.
Like I had my cruise pretty fly.
Yeah. So and they was all short, and I was the tall guy, and we all dressed the same. So sometimes my clothes look awkward because I was tall. And like when we go to the mall, we all get the same Jordan, same gear, everything. Hilarious. So you know what I mean. But they had all the girls. You know what I mean. But when we got grown, then girls start. Oh shit.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean. Tall, dark, and handsome type shit. Like it was different. But as a young, at their age, they got all the girls. So Roland. He was definitely, even if he didn't look like that to you, clearly, if you see the dude, fun fact, y'all, on the store scene, I'm going to put him up on the screen. On the store scene, you see the real Roland, Slim, and Mike standing there with the older ones. Yes. They all right there, and he's a little light-skinned pretty boy.
And
he's a light-skinned pretty boy when you see the older one, but they didn't make him like that on the movie, but that's what he was. So that's what he was portraying.
It's so funny. In that scene, I asked one of my whys was originally going to be, why are the three big ass black dudes standing at the counter of the bodega? But now it makes sense because those are the real Roland, Slim, and Mike.
Yeah, if y'all didn't know that, The Wood is based on a true story.
Yes, if you did not know that, that is a good place to start.
I don't know how much of it is true, but I know it's based on that friendship and growing up. Tate Diggs played the hell out of that role. Yeah. I believe this drunkenness.
I don't know if I believe it.
You didn't?
I was a little, and he was, push me.
He said, "Y'all got to get the fuck out of here, man. I'm trying to get into that." Did you see her booty, man? It was rotund. I'm trying to.
The best.
I know. He said, "I'm trying to make her booty jiggle, dude."
The best fucking scene.
I know he wanted to squeeze it.
is the damn bodega when he's holding those box of grits.
He said, Slim, like, ain't nobody cooking you grits, nigga. What the fuck is you?
He's like, I thought we just make a little breakfast.
Yeah, he said, I want them grits. He was holding them grits, man.
I thought we'd make a little breakfast.
Now, the chemistry between them was really good.
It was really good.
I really felt like they was friends, man. When they was sitting there laughing on that, when he was talking about, when he was popping them ticks, he said, I'm going to get you some Tic Tacs, man. The older Slim, and he start putting the Tic Tacs in Tay Diggs' mouth. He said, man, what you laughing at talking about McMike? He said, man, them Tic Tacs, man. I remember going to them dances, getting them Tic Tacs. And he was like, yeah, man. He said, and then they started talking about, yo, no dancing ass Mike. No, they're doing Slim. And then Slim did they was all laughing. It was just a lot of, the chemistry was really good. It was good between them, man. It was, and the young boys, man.
Yeah, no, they did, the casting on this was really good. So, like, regardless, it was really good. Regardless if they didn't look like their adult selves as kids, because I would never look at young Slim, and think that's old. Like, that's what you look like when you're younger. But still, it was really, they did a good job putting them together. Yeah,
and I guess Roland was supposed to be like the Cochise in the Marcus and Boomerang. He supposed to be the pretty boy fly dude. He ended up with Lisa Ray at the end. He never was expected to get married. No,
none of them. Well, Mike, yes, you could see Mike getting, but none of the rest.
Sure, yeah. And we know you can't see Slim getting married, which he didn't. So
no, and probably never will.
But and he seemed like Mike and Roland always had a little money too.
Yeah,
he always had $1 to bet on something. You know what I mean? Like, so.
Yeah, those dollar bets growing up.
Oh man, $1 was everything back then.
What could you? So at a bodega, you could get for $1. You could get a quart of water, a bag of chips, some like a good a snack pack,
a honey bun or something,
like
or a little snack cake,
and like some now and laters. Which I call now or laters, but apparently they're now and laters.
Yeah, but we Black, we call them now laters. To be
clear, it's now and laters, not now laters.
Yeah, you eat a couple now, save some for later.
You would have a whole fucking snack pack for $1. Yep. At the bodega,
or some bazooka bubble gum.
Never understand that.
Oh my god! Or don't have a food stamp with no tax. I would get me I don't even know if y'all have this pop.
I don't
this is
know
what we would get in Kansas City. We used to get a Vest Pop, either fruit punch or pineapple, or strawberry Vest Pop, maybe even grape.
Yep.
And a bag of chips, a Swiss roll, a honey bun, or anything like that with it. You know what I mean? With no tax, you would still, all of that would come up to probably like 89. You'll still have 10 cents left over.
You might have 10 cents.
And you can get you some 10-cent candy, even some now later, some bazooka bubble gum.
Oh, bazooka bubble gum that only lasts for 5 minutes.
Yeah, it's so good for that little quick 5 seconds, boy.
First of all, you read the comic, you're all hyped about the stupid ass comic, and then you chew it for about a good 5 minutes.
It's so good.
And
the sugar immediately goes.
Immediately want to throw that gum out. Get it out of my mouth.
Yes. So, hey, y'all, the $1 was special. You know what I mean? So, all right, let's get into Alicia.
Oh,
played by Sanaa Lathan as the older one and Melinda Williams.
Yes, she's the
as the older one, low key. You know what I mean? So,
right, they were probably the same damn age. Right, a 20-year age difference.
Facts, Sanaa Lathan. I wouldn't be surprised if Melinda Williams was older than Sanaa.
In that movie, she
because this is 99, so Sanaa was still young.
That is so crazy.
We're going to have to look that up.
52.
Oh, see?
Wait a minute now. So we're saying that in The Wood, Melinda Williams, who plays the junior high middle schooler, was actually a year older than Sanaa Lathan, who plays her older self.
Wow.
In the film.
Wow.
She was 29 years old and Sanaa Lathan was 28 years old in the film.
Wow.
That is crazy.
Wow. So that's crazy because that means Sanaa in Love and Basketball, Sanaa played a high school girl and she came out the same year, so she was 28 when she played that.
When she filmed that. Wow. Talk about black jeans. Black don't crack, brothers and sisters. Crack,
especially not for Melinda Williams because she still looks young.
She still looks young. That's crazy.
Shout out to Melinda Williams, man. Really dope character. Acting was phenomenal.
It was really good. She did a great job.
She made them look kind of like kids, like low key, because she was really
very
good.
Believable as a young, mature. Actually, as a middle schooler, she was hella mature. Like even when she called her brother to get to beat Mike's ass, she immediately felt compassion, sympathy, and she liked him, of course.
Yeah.
And the whole movie, she was very like, very sure, very confident. Yeah, right.
She was very confident in herself. She knew what she wanted.
Yeah, she was.
You know what I mean? Even when the sex scene, which we can get into real quick.
Oh my God.
The initial virgin sex scene. They both were virgins. They were both talking about having sex. You know how much it's on your mind. They was in high school at this point, and I think they was juniors.
Yeah.
And you know they. Mike and his boys was clamoring to get it.
Well, they made a bet.
They made a whole bet about it.
A whole dollar bet.
And this is how bright. Well, we just talked about Melinda Williams. You know, her character Alicia, how bright she was. She said, "I bet y'all bet on who would get the booty." Like she was.
She knows.
He was like, "What?"
She knows who.
He was like, "What?"
Yeah, exactly.
Shit, no, girl, we ain't do no shit like that. Like, no, they did.
But you know what? Mike was respectful enough to not say anything, which I thought was really dope and mature too.
That's true. And it said, I waited till one of them wanted to tell him I did it.
Yeah.
And here's the dope part about that scene was, it felt like it was like a real scene. Like, that's probably how it went in middle school. He was very fast. He had the condom. He tried his best. He didn't put it on the right way. It hurt her. She said, maybe we should wait. He was like, come on, girl. And they did it anyway. So they had sex, man. And, playing with Luther Vandross, they danced to.
Was mine.
Yep.
Man, the soundtrack of this movie is incredible.
That one too, man. That was probably the last of good soundtracks, to be honest.
I mean, it could have been. In the way they scored it in the film to help, like, every time you went back to the past, they always opened it with
some
a
good
really
ass
good
music,
song
man.
that
soundtrack was so cold,
you,
man.
like, transported you into.
It even starts.
The time.
Jerome. Gave me that Bobby Womack. You know, back in the day when I was young, I'm not a kid anymore, but sometimes I wish I was a kid again. Yeah, like that. It start off with that.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So, and even when they was actually doing it, after he ended up going into Stacy's room to get the condom.
Yeah.
When he came back, they had that After 7 playing.
Yeah.
I give you the sun, the rain, the moon, the stars,
it's a really
and the
good
mountain.
soundtrack. Matter of fact, I'm about to go listen.
Yeah, that's a fire ass soundtrack.
It's a fire ass soundtrack. All right.
So
what
are
the characters we gotta talk about?
Stacy
was the best.
Stacy was the best, man.
Stacy was the best.
DeAndre Bonds played Stacy. I feel like Stacy wasn't acting.
No.
This nigga, first of all, he's from that area. He's from like Inglewood and that surrounding areas. So it wasn't nothing for him to. And he was the only one that had good hair.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like his curl was real. You know what I mean? Like,
we'll get into that later.
He had the real hair. We'll get into wires later. Yeah. But he had the real curl, so he looked the part.
He definitely looked the part. And it was very natural for him. Like, it did not feel like he wasn't one of those like hardcore gangsters that you're just like, what is like too aggressive? He was a sensitive gangster. Like,
yeah, he was sensitive, man.
He was like super sensitive. Like, you don't fuck with nobody's sister, dude. Like, not his sister. And his sister was the baddest chick at school. So people were always coming for her. So he had to always like.
He probably been beating up people his whole life for her, man.
Right?
And to the point to where after he knew who Mike was, he understood that he was a good kid.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
At the store scene.
And to your point of him being sensitive, he was, which is one of the funniest parts of the movie. Hey, man, I'm sorry for beating your ass the other day, man. It's just you know what I mean? My sister, she cute, and it's always some nigga trying to fuck with her. You know what I mean?
And he said that with so much.
He said, nah, it's cool. Big Mike.
He said it with compassion. He was very chill. Like, he wasn't screaming. Yeah. He was just like, listen, man, like, you a good dude, man. Right. Like, if you hear that, I want you to know, if you hear that song by Luther
Vandross, if this love was mine, and I want you to get you a dance, man.
Yeah.
Serious, man. Like,
I mean, Stacy honestly is the reason they even got together in the first place.
Hey,
he didn't drop that gem.
Yeah, he gave him that gem.
And gave him that like one little piece of information, which is also crazy that when that song came on. So actually, that's not true. Somebody did ask her to dance, and she said no.
She curved him.
So Mike had a lot of courage because he saw her turn someone down.
Yeah.
And you know, at these dances, there's always that one girl that everybody
especially
asks to dance,
the baddest chick in the school, man.
And you just watch dudes go up to her constantly and they turn them down, and then you try to go and hope she doesn't turn you down. She didn't.
This is the one thing that happened to me that happened to me. Not the dancing,
right?
But I had the crush on the finest girl in middle school.
Okay.
Right. And she was so fine that I was intimidated. I'm never going to think about asking her to be with me.
Right.
And I actually became friends with her and tried to have her hook me up with her friend. Mm-hmm. So my strategy was, which y'all see a movie, I'm doing a movie about this. Like, my strategy was in the film was to be cool with her to get the friend. I start talking to her. Yeah. And when I finally got the courage enough to ask her, hey, what's up with such and such? Can you think she'll like me?
Right.
When I tell you that she looked at me like, and totally was mad and angry.
Right.
She ends up not stop talking to me.
Right.
I'm like, so like a couple of days go by, the weekend actually went by. Mm-hmm. I go back to school the next day. I'm like, what's wrong? Like did I say something wrong? She said, how you gonna talk to me every day?
Right.
Be around me and you working together, and then ask me
about my friend.
I thought you liked me.
Right.
Like, you like shit, right, of course.
Of course I love you.
Low key, you know what I mean? So, but either way, that's another story for another day. But yeah, so I could relate to Mike having a hard time trying to.
Yeah, Stacy dropped the gem. What I mean? Yeah, gave him a little help. Mm-hmm. Cameos.
Yeah, Lisa Ray.
She's the wife
of
that
Roland
almost doesn't marry at the beginning. So yeah, she's dope.
Yeah. So yeah, she was good in the film, man. Lisa Ray. They talked about their time when they was young and how Slim came up to her to try to get the number, but he really just introduced her to Roland. He was only one man enough. So yeah, you know what I mean? They had a little history too. But let's also bring up Tamala Jones.
Tanya was Roland's ex, whose house he went to when he got really, really drunk and didn't know where else to go. Now, I don't think he went to her house to do anything. I think he went to her house because she's a safe place to go. Perfect friend, perfect ex, didn't do anything, tried to get him coffee, tried to sober him up. She has a man, she ain't thinking about him, and immediately called his friends to come get him. So Tanya,
she was solid for doing what she did.
The right thing.
But that nigga wasn't going over there just to hang out.
He was.
He wasn't going over there. That nigga was going over there to smash. He even told him, like I said earlier, he's like, y'all got to get the fuck out of here. I'm trying to get into that.
Oh, yeah, he did.
So he was like, you sure booty? It was rotund.
He did say.
I'm trying to make her booty jiggle, dude.
Oh, boy, yeah. I know
you wanted to squeeze
it. She was never going to do that.
Nah, she wasn't.
She was never going to do that.
She was a good girl, man. Was never gonna you know what I mean? Especially, would you let your ex come over there on some shit like that?
In the condition that he was in, I would have let him come in and called Mike and Slim.
He didn't call Mike and Slim. She did.
No, that's what I'm saying. She asked what I would have let him in. Yes, I would have let him in, and then I would have called his best friend.
Even if you had a man.
Yeah, and yes, I would have. I would. This because it's not. I know my intentions, and he looks like he's in a bad way.
But how do you think your man will feel about you having?
First of all, I would tell him.
That nigga in the house.
I would tell him. It wouldn't even be. I'd be like, yo, he was drunk. He came over. He went to his wedding. I would have probably said when he got there, like, yo, don't be upset. Just to eliminate any miscommunication, any things you think might have gone on. I would have hit my man like, yo, just letting you know, my ex drunk. He's on his wedding day, came over here. He's sitting here. I have his friends picking him up. But I'm not putting in his
she let these niggas wear his clothes. All kind of shit, man.
He threw up all over himself. What was she supposed to do? If you're in it, if you're committed to help, just see it through.
But I mean,
what are you gonna have
if my girl, think about this, y'all. Think about this for a second. I know it's a movie, but if my girl, invited her ex in because he was drunk, coming over there to fuck for real, but you 86 that you wasn't having that.
Doing that. You trust your girl, okay.
Right? So, coming over to fuck, and he's drunk all in your house, putting on you at work. Clearly, he was at work. He clearly lived there because she had some clothes there. And these niggas
come back,
take shower butt naked in
in the
backyard, only because they smell like throw up. That's the only reason.
Okay.
And she goes out there, she's seeing them naked. It's her ex. This ain't just some random friend. It'd be different if it was her friends.
Yeah, so.
And you let these niggas wear my clothes.
One dude.
No, all three of them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? For a few hours.
What are you mad about?
What?
What is it to be mad?
All right, I'm gonna ask y'all. Would y'all be mad if your girl allowed her ex to come over and her to take care of him to get him back to his wedding? Also by letting you. While letting these niggas wear your clothes.
She wasn't even taking care of him.
Your clothes.
She let him in the house, called his friends immediately and was like, come get him. One, he couldn't drive, so you can't put him in a car or put him in a place. Like, he couldn't go anywhere. So she called or even a taxi. She called them to come get him. Then they left. That was the end of it. If he didn't throw up in the car, she would have never seen him again. Then they threw up in the car while getting the suits clean to go to the wedding that's happening in a few hours. They're like, listen, we just need clothes to get us to the end of this. You're not going to see him again.
I understand that shit.
Take my shit and go.
I understand that shit, but go. I don't know how I would feel.
I don't understand why you would be upset about that. It just seems so small.
As the man,
what?
Why are these niggas wearing my fucking clothes?
Because they needed, we're going to be naked? Like, what the fuck?
They shouldn't even been there. Y'all take y'all ass somewhere else.
There's nowhere else to go. She's known them for over 20 years.
So what?
No, you're whack for that.
So
20 years of friendship?
I'm just going to be whack for that, but my girl ain't about to let her ex and his friends come over my house, sit on my couch, and be all in my wife's face or my girl's face and put on my clothes.
Come on crazy, now. That's ridiculous. And if the shoe was on the other foot, I wouldn't trip. Like, I trust you. Like, you got to, and this is the thing about relationships. So all these girls wearing your clothes. If I've known them for 20 plus years, like, yeah,
I'm talking about the other way around.
I trust you.
The girl.
These are girls you've known for 20 years. Is this
so just say you walk in.
I'm telling you,
just say this. You don't know what's going on. Back then, they didn't have cell phones.
Yeah, if you walk in, I might be upset.
So you walk in,
and I'm like, all right.
You walk in, say this, you walk into your home, and you see 3 women in your clothes sitting on the couch.
Why would they be sitting on the couch? They didn't stay.
They were sitting on the couch, remember, for a minute.
They got dressed, but then they got dressed and bounced. Like, gave them a pot of coffee and bounced.
Yeah, they was like, no, they went there.
They went there the first time, got a pot of coffee, then left, then came back, got the clothes and
took
bounced.
A shower.
And bounced.
Put they clothes on and bounced.
And that was it.
And came back.
They didn't come back again. She didn't come to bring back his clothes. They put on the suits and went to the wedding. She didn't even see him again. Like, it was a wrap. It still was crazy. I don't know. I just feel like there's just got to be trust. Like, situations happen. People get in situations. Like, if the shoe was on the other foot, I would want someone to take me in and not leave me on the street.
I understand that, but that still is crazy. So, all right.
I get it.
Favorite characters?
Mike and Alicia, they're the best.
Yeah, you like
them. They're my favorite characters for sure. They're the best, most grounded, the easiest for me to personally relate to.
I can't argue with that.
They were good.
They were really good. My favorite character, I think the MVP of this film, low key, and you touched on this, Stacy.
Oh, Stacy's the best. Stacy's definitely the best character.
Stacy, low key the MVP, because like you said, if he wouldn't have gave Mike that alley hoop to get Alicia, you know what I mean? It would have been a lot of the story missed because of that. Yeah. So and he was just great.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. He needed to beat Mike's ass. They needed all of them scenes. Every time he was in a scene, he stole it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Him in the car and shit talking about, you know what I mean? Smoke making a weed album and shit.
Yo, Stacy was a revolutionary, man. He saw the future of it, which of course they did that on purpose, but he saw where it was going. That was his version of the Chronic. He was super lasered in.
He said, man, ain't one race. He said, nigga, fuck that. You didn't get no zigzags. You don't get no drags. He's like, shit, he said, that shit fucking raw. I should be a fucking rapper. He said, nigga, you crazy. He said, shit, what you talking about? He said, that shit, I make a whole album about smoking weed.
Man,
ain't nobody gonna buy an album about smoking weed. He said, nigga, you crazy with some fresh ass beats like this?
Man,
I sell millions. Right. He was right, you know, because of course that was in the 80s, so in the 90s, Dre made the Chronic and made millions. But so it was fun. It was a fun movie for him to, you know. Stacey was great. Who got on your nerves the most in the film?
Slim, of course. Adult Slim got on my last motherfucking nerves. And I said that from the beginning. He's my least favorite character by far and got on my nerves the most.
Slim is my other favorite character. I know I said Stacy, but Slim is probably my favorite character. Like right there
like
with
all these dark skinned crazy characters.
Right. Like, you know what I mean? I don't know. I was definitely Slim as a kid. I was definitely him.
Okay.
That's how I was. Like, what? Nigga, you know, that's just, I talk fast. I was quick and witty, and that was just me, man. Like, you know what I mean? What, nigga? Let me hold $1. Like, you know, that was just me. So I get that guy. You know what I mean? But who got on my nerves most is Tay Diggs.
What
Character?
Yeah, he was
being drunk. This nigga throwing up in my car and Slim's car.
Was so gross.
They trying to get him to the wedding. He keep fighting it.
Yeah, he's a lot.
You know what I mean? He just took them through too much. You know what I mean? Grabbing the grits and all that extra shit at the store. He was just irritating everybody. He was irritating the whole movie. The older people in the like his parents, like, where is he at? He irritated his wife.
He irritated everybody.
So if I had to pick somebody that got on my nerves, take that. I loved him. I loved this kid. He did a good job. Everybody did a good job in this film. But
do you think she should have married him?
Yes.
What?
Yes.
I don't know.
He had cold feet. It happens. People have cold feet.
Happen.
That's a normal thing.
It does happen, but. Yeah, I guess he loved her. He was having.
He loved her. He was having a moment, man. And this is Roland we talking about. Yeah, this is probably like out of all of them, I would think that he wouldn't get married, even over Slim.
Yeah,
the way he was at first.
That's true.
He had all the girl memories. Like, how many girls did you get at the? You know what I mean? At the dance, he said, I got 7. You know what I mean? He said, "Nigga, I got 7 too." He's like, "It's a top." All right, let's get into some quotes.
All right,
it's a lot of them in this movie, man.
All right, you got all the quotes. I'm gonna let you take the lead on this.
All right, cool. So. Which y'all seen in the scene that we did.
Oh, yeah. What? You just think I'm going to give it up after 1 week? You must think I'm a hoe.
What? Why you tripping? You let the nigga Terry bone. And I know I look better than that nigga.
Hey.
You know what I mean? So
that's one of the best. That's one of my favorite quotes. Yeah.
I can't button my collar up without getting nervous. Slim said that. He talking about, ain't no woman going to have a hold on me.
He loves Slim.
Ain't gonna button my collar up without
all
getting nervous.
All his quotes are Slim quotes.
No, Stacy. He said, what? I try to be generous to you little young niggas, y'all, and look how you do me. He said, I don't understand you little youngsters nowadays. This nigga is the same, barely like a couple of age or older than them. And he talking about, I don't understand you little youngsters nowadays. That shit used to crack me up. And the classic scene when Slim told Roland at the when they was eating pizza, he said, don't give up the best thing that ever happened to you because you're scared.
Yeah.
And that's when, you know, Roland had that moment. Yeah. It was like, I'm ready, man.
I'm ready to do this. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So, Slim, as much as you hate Slim, he was dropping them bombs and them jewels.
He wanted him to do
what's right.
He wanted him to do what's right. No, you're right.
He wanted him to do what's right.
You're right.
So, all right, now, for the versus section, who would you date if you had to pick out of the 3? Of course, I already know who it is, the way you've been about it.
The way I've been talking? God, you can't possibly guess who I would choose. Ask me anyway.
Who?
Ask me between who and who?
Out of all the 3.
Oh, obviously Mike.
Yeah, I knew who it was. You know what I mean?
Obviously, I would date Mike. If it's young, from the looks as a young and older character, and just personality and everything that they present, it would obviously be Mike.
Yeah, there really nobody for me to pick from in this film. Probably, I like Tamala Jones.
Lisa Ray, Sanaa Lathan.
Sanaa, clearly, but. Sanaa wasn't in it enough for me to even.
She wasn't. She was only in it for like a split second. Yeah. And this was the
that didn't match up at all.
Setup for you for Love and Basketball to see them dancing at the wedding, because the next movie that came out was Mike Epps and Sanaa Lathan in Love and Basketball.
Yeah, and they literally fell in love in real life together.
Did they?
Yes.
They dated after that?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know.
We'll talk about that when we do Love and Basketball.
I got one why on this.
I already know what this is.
Why was the wigs on the young kids in the Jerry curls so fucking awful?
Awful, man.
Awful, especially when you can compare
Slim and Roland.
To my real God, one man. That Stacy's wearing. Their wigs were their wigs were like the $5 wigs that you get that you can't, if you can't comb it, you can't wet it, you can't do nothing with it because the quality is so awful that it would be destroyed with the touch of any care.
Yes, that those wigs was off the chain.
Awful.
Those was the Tyler Perry wigs before Tyler Perry. Y'all know how everybody talk about the Tyler Perry wigs. These was the Tyler Perry wigs first.
They were terrible.
But you know what's funny is the movie was so good that
I mean, you didn't
until
care.
I got older, I ain't even really paying attention to it.
But everything about the younger part of this movie was
the best part to me.
It was the horrible Southern accent, the really bad wigs, like that just made the flashback part of this just so much funnier because that is probably how you actually, as an adult, that's probably how you remembered it. It was just over the top and ridiculous.
All right, I got to ask this question.
Yes,
because this is a big pivotal moment in the scene that sets everything into motion for Big Mike anyway. Have you ever had your booty grabbed in middle school and stuff?
No, I didn't have that. So I went to a private school there were a lot of black kids, but it was a white private school. There was no grabbing of booties and shit like that. I told you my school was really small. We didn't have when we had recess, we would go to Central Park and hang out in Central Park. Like we were in Upper West Side of New York City, and these white kids were absolutely not grabbing no black asses for sure. And then, but we did have those. So my schools merged. It used to be a different school that merged with a private school. And they took a lot of the black kids from that other school and moved them over. So there was a lot of shit happening in stairways and inappropriate things with these young kids, but there was no ass grabbing.
What about when you went to your grandma's or anything like that?
Oh yeah, there was hide and go get it all day. Did we talk about hide and go get it? Can we talk? Can we really talk?
Go into hide, go get it. All right.
So if you've never played hide and go get it, it's a very simple game. You have a number of guys and the same number of girls, and the girls. You will
hope it's the same number.
You hope it's the same number. The girls basically run, and they are chased and found by one guy ideally, and then when they find you, you make out and probably go between 1 to third base. Some people might have fucked.
Yeah, it's possible. I ain't never seen it in high go get it.
That far, but you definitely get between a 1 and a 3, which is like a kissing to a boob touch to a dry hump kind of scenario.
That's funny because I was talking to some young folks and they had no idea what high go get it was. That was crazy to me. They was in their 20s. I'm like, how the hell do you not know? That's how you know they don't go outside like we used to. They don't go
outside. We had to go
high go get it, like she said, is just like hide and seek. Only you get to dry hump and kiss. and sometimes third base you might get to use a couple of finger whatever. And
is that what third base is fingers?
Yeah.
So what's dry humping for? Base what?
I don't know what dry. I don't think dry humping is a base.
It is because home run is intercourse. So
the first base is kissing, right?
Yep. Second base is touching over shirt.
Is it?
And I thought third base was under clothes, so that could be touching.
No, third base is fingering and stuff like that.
I thought third base was touching
hand jobs,
but that's still touching. That could be touching an actual boob or fingering, or that's under the clothes.
I mean, that's the closest thing next to. I guess third base. Third base can also be low key oral. It could be.
No, fourth base would be oral because a home run is sex. No, home run is sex.
It ain't 4 bases. It's only 3.
Well, yeah, you gotta get home. That's not a home run. A home run is where you knock it out the park and everybody comes home.
But first base, second base, third base, and then home. Home is it.
But a home run is sex. That's what I thought. Listen,
no, home base.
We're just making
home base is sex.
All right, so I guess then, all right, if that is the logic,
then 3 could be oral, like low key.
Wow, okay.
Second base really should be fingering, and third base should be oral. First base should be kissing,
either
and touching,
way,
and dry humping.
That's what hide and go get it was. You got to get to the base.
You didn't get the home base. You could probably do all the other ones except home.
It was a fun. And when I played, there was only one because I was a hot commodity in my grandmother's neighborhood because I was only there on weekends and summers. So there was one dude that Jimmy Hazelwood, and call him out. This was my young junior high, middle school crush. And he was the only one who was allowed to get me when we played hide and go get it.
Yes, you always had to have that one person you was connected to.
Yes.
It really wasn't a free for all. Now I ain't gonna say it never happened where it was a free for all. It's probably been some people that done it where it was a free for all, but most of the time you knew what person you was going to go find.
Absolutely. And if you went and got the girl that someone else was gonna get, problems. Always big problems. So yeah, so that was hide and go get it.
And I will say, man, this is how you know they was a really close knit friend, even from the beginning. After, you know, Mike get beat, while during Mike getting beat up, Slim and Roland had his back.
Yeah.
They jumped out there and they was like, hey, they tried to get Stacy off of him, like, and Stacy like, y'all niggas want some of me? They was like, yeah, I guess so. They was willing there, but of course Mike said, nah, this is my fight. And they was like, oh shit.
Yeah,
like,
they backed up.
And they backed up, you know what I mean? But they had his back even then, and early, and that was the first day they met him.
Yeah.
And that's why they were solid friends afterwards. No, but these shout outs, Christina Milian.
Oh yes,
Megan Good,
Megan Good. You keep saying Megan Good sister. I don't know who that is, but
the one that was that Big Mike was fingering when he was like, "You already started on the wrong path. You might as well finish."
All right,
that was Megan Good's sister. And the fun fact is, Megan Good, she was supposed to play that role, but she couldn't because she was too young to do that scene. She couldn't be in no scene like that. And then of course Christina Milian was at the dance. These are the young, you know what I mean? Young actors.
This is the beginning of their careers.
Right. Oh, one more thing. Why did Boo have these scars on his face? I want y'all to look at this scene.
Boo is Stacy's
friend that's in the other blood dude that was in the car. He had, if you watch his face, he had like scars on his eyes, on the side of his face. I wonder if they supposedly had a fight scene or something, and then they ended up cutting it or something. Because if I ever see Rick Fumois, who was the writer and director of this film, I want to ask him, was a scene cut out? Because I want to ask him what was some scars on Boo's face. Or maybe he just really had scars on his face at the time, and they just like, damn, we just got to use you anyway. Oh yeah, and one thing we got to say is, man, in this mode, we're gonna do a rating on this, even though the rating is clear.
It's very fucking clear.
We're gonna get this out the way quick. 10. Obvious 10.
Obviously, one of my favorites of all time. I love this movie.
I've clearly played this willingly way more than 10 times.
This is a good one.
So I play this to this day all the time. Sometimes I'm like, man, I'm gonna put the wood on and watch that movie. It's just a feel good film, man. It's just a feel good film. Now, we just got a shout out.
Who we shouting out?
Not even a person. We just got a shout out. Being a kid.
Yes.
As a young middle school, early high school days.
I miss those days.
And risking it all for the booty, man.
Yeah. Risking it all for the booty.
Oh my God, man. This nigga, Big Mike, he risked it all for the booty, man. And as Benny has said, even in House Party when we spoke about it, how kid went through all that shit.
Yes.
That he would do it again.
100%.
Just to get the booty.
Just to get the booty.
Just that moment with Gina. Same thing with Mike.
Yeah.
This dude been through so much. He got beat up by Stacy.
Yep.
He almost went to jail with Stacy.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Didn't get none of the girls because his dancing was trash. You know what I mean? Went in Stacy's room to try to find a condom.
Right.
And Stacy came in there. He would have got brutally beat up then too.
Brutally beat down.
All just for that one moment with Alicia that he had.
And
and you know, that is the pinnacle of this movie and what it represents. And you know, at the end of the day, you want to have that feeling and you want to be macking and hanging with your friends.
What do you want
even
to do?
To this
what do you
day.
want to do?
Macking and hanging.
Macking and hanging.
Macking and hanging. All right, y'all. So that's it for our Wood episode. I'm your host, Nick Quotes, and this is my lovely co-host, Beny Ash.
What's up?
And we see y'all next time.
Peace.